Talking about the NFC picture.
Yeah.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving. We're talking about the Eagles, we're talking about the 49ers, talking about the Cowboys. But there's another team right now that's still third in the rankings in the NFC, and that's the Detroit Lions going against the Saints this week. Maz, just quick look at the Lions, quick talk.
Yeah.
What do you want to see out of your Detroit Lions this Sunday?
You know what I want to see. I want to see them come out like they came out against the Chargers. Right. That first half of the Chargers game, minus the defense at the end of that half, and, of course, going into the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That offense, I had a huge smile on my face. They could have had 31 points. Remember, they went 4th and 1 from the goal line?
Yeah.
And they stopped them, so they got 24 points and a half. That's what I want to see against the New Orleans Saints. I want to see the offense dominate this game, give the defense a little break, stay on the field offense, take control of this game, and then try to let Derek Carr beat you. Derek Carr is not going to beat you unless you guys let him. Stay away from the penalties. Let's get the pass rush going. We got our fill-in-the-blank Friday, so I won't spoil it for you. But you know what, man? You got to get a little bit of a pass rush on this guy. And James, it's Pascal.
Yeah, Josh Pascal.
Josh Pascal. Yeah. I mean, he's been the focus. He's been, where's this Josh Pascal? But now he knows. They talked to him in the locker yesterday. He's like, I know they need me to be who I'm supposed to be. I can do what they need me to do, and I will do it. So I hope Josh Pascal can show up, because that would be a huge get if that kid can play like they thought he could play.
Yeah, my big thing is, I'm going to make it simple, because it's a lot of things you want them to clean up, a lot of things to do. Maz, I want to play clean football. Like, Maz, when they were winning games, whether it was the Carolina Panthers, whether it was the Bucks, it was Green Bay on Thursday Night Football, whether it was Thursday Night Football, they played Green Bay, whether it was the Raiders game, whether it was the Chiefs. Insert win here for the Detroit Lions that wasn't the Bears game. They played clean football, clean on both sides. Now what I'm seeing from the Detroit Lions on defense, they're out of position. The DBs are not in phase with the wide receivers. What's up, my guy? Running backs, the linebackers, they're missing tackles. This has been a team that doesn't miss tackles. This has been a surefire tackling team. They're missing tackles now, Jack Campbell, Anzalone. And then the defensive line, you brought up Josh Pascal. You want to know where he's at. Where's the rest of the guys at? I want guys to just be clean. Jared Goff, what was the guy? You heard Dan Miller say it when we had him on. What did Dan say? He said if he was having a conversation with this Jared Goff right now, he would say, hey, that guy last year, after the first 6 games that made that transition to the last 10 games, need to find that guy. Stop turning the ball over. These are things that are within their power. Need to clean some things up on the offensive line as well. Just play clean football.
No doubt about it, man. Now, there's a guy that they drafted, a young guy from Tennessee. Drafted injured, right? He was going to have a red shirt year this year. But Hendon Hooker back at practice for the first time all year. He's part of the team now. He's not just going to meetings and then going to work out on his own, and getting therapy and all that kind of jazz. He is on the field. So Dan Campbell was asked about Hendon Hooker. So we're going to get you to that in just a second. Dan Campbell on his rookie quarterback.
Look, it's good to get him out there. I know he's excited. To be able to feel like he's now part of the team, from his own perspective, that's hard when you're limited to, I'm in meetings and that's about it. Then I go and rehab. And so I know he's excited to be out there. And look, we're just in the beginning stages of it, but he's, you can see just when he throws the ball, why we acquired him. He's got a poise about him, and he's got a really smooth delivery, if you will, tight spiral. But he's just starting, he's just starting, but it's good to get him out there.
That's got to mean the world. And you heard what he said. Kid throws a good ball, tight spiral. Who doesn't throw a tight spiral?
Number 16.
Okay, so I'm just saying, these are little things that I picked up on this that I'm looking forward to seeing what this kid could bring eventually.
Let's have a real conversation. Everybody, it's been since Jared Goff's been here. Is he the guy? Can he win the games? Is he worthy of the contract? Is he going to be the guy you keep? We're not going to get into speculation about that. I don't feel like doing that. But you know what we can do? Everybody gives Brad Holmes credit for his draft picks, right? But what is the very detail about his draft picks? These are guys that he likes. These are guys that he falls in love with. Mm-hmm. These are guys that he recruits more than other guys. There's a reason why Hendon Hooker got drafted to the Detroit Lions. Like you said, Dan Campbell getting excited about the spiral, getting excited about what he's seeing. There's a reason why they drafted Hendon Hooker. They like Hendon Hooker, and they want themselves a young quarterback. This is something where
that's how you win.
It is what it is. I mean, you've seen the limitations of Jared Goff, and he's had a rough patch, and so we don't want to crucify him right now. Everybody has a rough patch. We saw Patrick Mahomes games 3 through 6.
More or less, he's had a very good year this year.
He's definitely had a real good year, but it's one of those things where it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Now, being back on the field and being like you were out for a while too.
Yeah.
And how isolated do you feel when you're not involved like this kid has been? He's never been involved with this team, really. He's just been in the backyard.
Yeah, you just really don't feel like you're a part of the team. I remember when I tore my ACL in 2005. I tore it in December, so there were 4 games left in the season, and I wasn't going to meetings. They didn't have me in meetings. They didn't have me in practice. They didn't have me in drills. I wasn't doing things. I wasn't out there watching practice. They legitimately had me in a training room. They had me doing my own workouts. They had me doing my own drills. They had me doing my own stuff with the strength and conditioning. I felt like a guy on the side.
Yeah.
It's kind of like David Beckham when the coach wouldn't play him, and he was just on the side kicking balls, and everybody else is actually practicing with Manchester United. But it's one of those things where you feel like the loneliest guy. Like one is the loneliest number. You're sitting over there, you're doing everything away from the team. They're having success or they're losing. Even if they're losing, you want to be a part of the losses because you want to be a part of what gets it to the good side. And when they're winning, you definitely want to be a part of winning. So now that he's actually back, he's in the fold, good for him. We'll see what happens with him.
And Hendon Hooker was asked just the other day, matter of fact, Matt Broder was there, and he asked him about what are your future goals here for you as a Detroit Lion? Here's Hendon Hooker.
I don't think we have that one. But, I mean, if I was Hendon Hooker, just speculating, his goal is to start for the Detroit Lions. Like, Hendon Hooker got drafted to a team that was on the way up. They were 9-8 last year. Now you see him this year. They're 8-3. He got drafted by a winner. You got a damn good coach. You got a damn good offensive coordinator who might not be here next year. But he got drafted to a winner. And when I got drafted, Ryan, Maz, my apologies, I'm used to doing that. I wanted to be a part of the Browns. I wanted to be a reason why you changed. I wanted to be a reason why they were in the playoffs. I wanted to be what the team drafted me to be. I mean, Hendon Hooker's the guy's like, shoot, if I don't get hurt, I win the Heisman. If I don't get hurt, maybe we beat Alabama. If I don't get hurt, I go, maybe I'm the second quarterback taken. Maybe I'm the first quarterback taken. You never know. So he's operating from a place of, I know who I am. Let me show everybody else who I am and how I can be of help.
Now, here's the thing. Brad Holmes reaches for a third-round pick on this guy.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe finding a pass rusher, right? Am I right there? So if they took him, they're not taking him just to keep him in the background as a backup quarterback. They're taking him because they believe that he could be the future quarterback of this team.
100%. You're talking about a guy that would have gone first round, a guy that maybe would have won the Heisman. So even though he got drafted third, he's not third, but I think we got that clip now. Here's Hendon Hooker on
his goals.
What does he expect to do?
Just want to get better. Every day, 1%. Continue to stay in my playbook. Continue to ask questions and get better. Just being a competitor.
Yeah.
You want to get out there and compete and have fun. Do what you do. You do what you love doing. Just play football. So it's tough.
To him right there.
Go get him, Hooker.
He reminds.
Go get him.
TJ Hooker. There you go. That was a good TV show. But listening to him, he sounded.
That was William Shatner, wasn't it?
It was.
There you go.
It was. But just listening to him just right there, he reminds me of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a guy that says everything right at the podium. And the two things he just said that I love, he said stay in that playbook and ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you can ask for a young guy is to stay in that playbook and ask those questions. Because if he's asking questions, this is a guy that wants to learn his playbook and take over at some point.
I'm looking forward to it. But I know he's not the year. He's not for him now.
No, it's not.
For now, we need Jared Goff, like you said, just to get back to playing the game that he was playing earlier in the year, not turning it over. Remember, he had fumbleitis when he first came here.
Little hands.
Fumbleitis. He had little hands.
Little hands was the thing.
And I remember bringing it up. Wow, this guy don't fumble anymore. I mean, that's because he had a nice, clean pocket.
Yeah.
That offensive line, I think it's what record are they now?
16.
What record are they now?
16 rotation.
They're 8-3.
8-3.
So this will be their 12th game. Out of the 12 weeks, they have had 11 different combinations on the offensive line. That's tough.
No, definitely it's tough because you can't get into a sense of rhythm. You can't get used to the same old guys. Guards are rotating here. The center's rotating over here when he's out. Frank Ragnow did miss a game. So it's hard to get in rhythm, and that rotation is starting to affect them. They were looking really good. This is the identity of the team. It's the offensive line. Well, when you got guys going in and out, guys being injured, guys fighting through pain, let's not forget Taylor Decker was hurt early in the year. Now, he's been fighting through it.
Oh, yeah.
But how is Taylor Decker feeling?
Look at Ragnow, bad toe for life.
And just willing it.
Yeah.
And he's out there willing to do it. So you got to appreciate the Iron Manism in that. But they got to figure it out. Because one thing we were thinking about, I was like, look, they've had injuries, they've had different rotations, they had all these things. But you know what, Maz? When you get into the playoffs, nobody's going to want to hear that. Nobody's going to want to hear who's not here. Nobody's going to want to hear about those different rotations. So they got to find a way with this rotation that they have to get back to ground and pound. Like, that's what they were doing when they were dominating teams early on. When they went through that, I want to say the NFC South stretch, ran the ball, and they opened up the pass with Sam Laporta. Where's Sam Laporta been?
Yeah, he's been here and there. He got a touchdown last week, but not as many. Not as many. The last few weeks, maybe teams are watching tape on him, and they're trying to take him out of the game. That's where other guys got to come in and pick it up. But this Lion team going forward, man, it's just they just got to get back to the basics. Run this ball against New Orleans. That's a pretty good defense that the Saints have, but that offense is not clicking. They're averaging 17 points a game. You heard we had Mike Haas on yesterday, the voice of the Saints. He says,
by the way, he didn't really sound too confident in the Saints, did he?
No. He said they're the worst team in the red zone.
There was no confidence in the Saints. I think he said to the tune, the Lions have been there 38 times, and the Saints have been there 40.
40, and they don't get in.
They don't have red zone offense. Like when I watch
what happened to Jamal Williams?
What happened to Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
Like they get down there, they don't know how to use them. They try to run the ball up the middle. Like last time I checked, Alvin Kamara is not the guy running between the tackles on the 10-yard line. He's the guy that you flex out, the guy you do passes with, the guy you do something quick. They got it. Well, they don't have to because we're going against those guys, but they need to figure it out. But hopefully the Detroit Lions, hopefully that defense, they look at that offense and say, fellas, this offense is not good. Derek Carr cannot be trusted. No. Alvin Kamara has not got going. The only guy that's consistent on that team is Chris Olave in the last 2 years. If I'm Aiden Hutchinson, I'm licking my chops.
I hope so.
If I'm Jack Campbell, if I'm Brian Branch, if I'm this defense.
This is a get-right game.
This is a get-right game, Maz. This is a game you go out there, you get a couple sacks. I'm not saying you have to have 9. You get 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks. You get a pick. You get a bunch. Put them in third and long a lot. Don't allow them to get in third and short. Put them in third and long. Get the ball back to your offense. They got to work in unison. When the Lions were doing good, offense was working with defense. They're not doing it right now.
Jamal Williams has been 0 this year. Do you think?
Who?
Do you think that he's talking to them saying, all right, I want the ball this week? Do you think Jamal Williams will be a factor in this game?
No. They may give him a run or two, something like that, but I don't think he'll be a factor, and I don't think he's going to, give me the ball. This is my old team.
You don't think that?
It doesn't really work.
Didn't you want to beat the Browns?
But he doesn't start, though.
I know, but he gets in.
Yeah, ish. When you're a guy like Jamal Williams, you can't go to coach and say, hey, man, let me get off this week, pause. When you're that guy, it has to be a part of the game plan. When I went back to Cleveland, so I got traded from the Cleveland to the Jets in 2009, 4th game, and then the 6th or 7th game in 2010, we went to Cleveland, played against them. I wanted to go ham and cheese. I wanted 2 touchdowns. I wanted 200
and your teammates
yards. I wanted to throw my helmet in the stands.
Didn't your teammates want to get it to you?
Flip the bird. They did. But
that's what I mean.
But it was a part of the game plan. We had some plays in. A couple plays they didn't necessarily work out. San Antonio Holmes ended up having a big game. It was about the win. I wanted to, but at the same time, I'm they should know that I want to have a really big game. So I shouldn't say it.